everybody! So I had this idea to start doing pen and ink videos because I've been collecting fountain pens for a number of years now, and I've amassed quite a collection of ink samples while I'm doing that. Because I would get like a surprise ink sample pack from Goulet pens every time I'd buy a pen, which is fun because I get inks that I don't normally think of to buy. But then I run into the issue of I've got a lot of inks that I've never used because I get a lot of yellow inks and a lot of black inks, and I just don't use a lot of those. So I figured the best way to make use of pens and the inks that I haven't used a lot of is to start posting some videos and do some ink testing and try out some of the pens and some new combinations and see where we go. So originally I was going to wait until I got a new phone because I figured the camera would be better. But I also figured a new pen day is the best day to start. So I have not opened this box. I've sliced open the tape, but I haven't actually opened the pen. So we're gonna see what this looks like together. So first things first, we have the lovely Goulet pen sticker. This is a new one. This is of their new range. I haven't gotten this one yet, so that's exciting. This was packed by Brenda J. And the infamous Tootsie Pops, which I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this if anyone who actually watches this. I don't usually eat these. I usually give these out to other people because I don't eat Tootsie Pops. We got packing information. And we have the pen. By the way. So, any guesses as to what this is, even though it's in the title? Let's get this open. And of course, because I can't buy a pen without ink, I did get some ink samples, which we're going to do some swatching today. These aren't random ink samples. These are all samples that I picked because I wanted to give a bunch of the ALR Ink Studio inks a try. We'll get into those a little bit later. Da-da-da. We have a TWSBI. So I have quite a few TWSBIs, I'll be honest. It's a little bit of a problem for me. Oh, I forgot they have these stickers on them. So I love TWSBIs. I think their pens are fantastic. And I gave myself this ultimatum, or not this ultimatum, I gave myself this rule that I would never buy the same pen just because it came in multiple colors. This is the closest I'm coming to breaking that rule. So, because we shall see, this is the beautiful, we've got the packaging here, we've got the instructions. So I purchased oh, that's so pretty, the TWSBI ALR in Punch Pink. You can get that, there we go. So I already have an AL, I have the Emerald. And the only way I could really justify this was by saying, oh, but it's the ALR, it's technically a different pen, even though it's the same pen. That is so pretty. Oh my god. So I don't have any pink pens. All my pens, my whole color range tends to be a bit on the cooler side. You can give that a look. Oh, that is so pretty. This is the first, and I have some, I don't really have, actually, I have one purple pen, which I will show you. Because we're doing a little TWSBI comparisons. This is the ALR. It's AL because all of the internal mechanisms, except for the piston, are made of aluminum. So you've got aluminum on the piston knob when it goes up. You've got the piston rod. You've got on the finial, if you can see, if you can see that. There's, with the ALRs, you've got coloring on the center band. And then there's an aluminum grip section, which if you can hear, this is why it's the ALR. I don't know if you can hear that. It's got this textured ribbing on the grip, which I was a little worried about, but honestly, I don't mind it at all. I got this one in, if you can see, oh, we're not in frame. I got this one, there it is, in a fine nib. I have my AL, which I'll show you for a little comparison. My AL is this one, the AL Emerald. There we are. This one is a medium, as you can see. I recently cleaned it out. Not so great. This one's a medium nib. I've had this one. I bought this one the day it came out. This was my first TWSBI, actually, and I fell in love with these pens. So this is a medium nib. And then I also have Eco, which is also medium nib, but the Eco is a slightly smaller nib. This is a number 4 size nib, where the 580s all have the number 5 Yovo nibs. So my understanding is that the fine in the ALR is going to write more closely to this, which is what I prefer. The medium is a little broad for me on the 580, so I have to be very careful with what inks I put into it. But I love it a lot. And then I also, this was my very first TWSBI. This was my very first fountain pen. Is the TWSBI Go. This one is also a medium, but it writes more like a fine, I will say. It's much finer than the medium on my Eco. And I use this one mostly for ink testing, and if I want to just write it like a quick letter or a quick note with something. I don't use this one as frequently because I have so many other pens. So, we have the beautiful Punch Pink. This is so pretty. So happy with this. So I'm gonna clean up my workstation and I'll show you the ink samples. So I got 5 ink samples. A couple of them were ones that I had just wanted to try just for fun, and then a couple of them I bought because I figured I'd use one of them in my Punch Pink. So first we have Sailor Ink Studio. Here we go. Sailor Ink Studio 264. We have Sailor Ink Studio 150. Sailor Ink Studio 450. This was one that I was planning on getting a full bottle of, but they did not have them in stock when I wanted to buy these, so I did not get the full bottle. Here's Ink Studio 130. That's a very clear ink. I'll be interested to see how that one swatches out. It's very clear. That's very pretty. And Sailor Ink Studio 237. So I think most likely 237 is going to end up in my pen, but I have my Lurkstrom here, and we're going to do some ink swatches, and we'll see what everything looks like. Okay, so I am going to get my Q-tips, and we're going to do some ink swatches. This is a Lurkstrom 1917 with, I forgot the GSM of their paper. It's very nice, smooth cream paper. And we're going to go in number order. Not that the numbers don't mean like, you know, they're in any kind of order. There's a code to them that I have been told, and my cap just went flying, and that's not good. Luckily no ink has been splattered about my room. So we're gonna see, I'm interested to see what this one's gonna look like, because this is a very light shaded ink. Okay, here we go. Oh, that is so pretty. I'm interested to see how legible this is, because it's so light. This is 130. I will get a dip pen if I do more of these ink testing videos. For now, we're dealing with my Q-tips. That's ink 130. Alrighty, so yeah, originally I was gonna get a bottle of 450 and I think a bottle of 264, but 450 was out of stock when I went to go buy these inks and I went to go buy the pen, and I decided I'd rather have some of the ink than no ink at all. So I figured I might as well give this a try. Okay, this is number 150. Ooh, that's pretty. It's a really nice 1, 5. That is a 5, 0. It's a nice, I don't even want to call it a lavender. It's like a dusty lavender, if that makes any sense. Which I don't know if it does. My phone's going off. Hopefully the buzzing isn't interfering with the video. Okay, let's do 237. Give that a go. We'll see how that one looks. This one I'm hoping is gonna look the way I want it to, because this is the one that I was kind of hoping to put in my my Punch Pink. And I will say, what's on the frame here? Ooh, that's nice. That is also lighter than I was anticipating. I know that the lower the first number is, the lighter the color. That is still very pretty. That's like a dusty rose. It's like a Kirby. It's a Kirby pink, if you know that character from Super Smash Bros. I didn't used to be the kind of person to match their pen with their ink until recently. I don't really know what happened. Okay, we're gonna do 264 now. But now I feel the need, at least for the first ink I put in a pen, for it to be a matching ink. I can't fully explain how that happened. When I got my Van Gogh, I put some kind of, put diamine Aurora Borealis in it, which I have the Starry Night that looks nothing like Diamine Aurora Borealis, but it was a very nice ink. All right, this is 264. Okay. That's a very pretty teal. I don't know what pen I would put that in. It kind of matches my Jinhao 51A. I have the blue and green ombre a little bit. You can see there's already like some kind of color variation. Wow, in the 150 coming out, it's like there's pink undertones. That is just gorgeous. And last but not least, 450. So I'll do this one next to 150. This one is going to be, yeah, this one's much more. This is a nice bright purple. See, this is the kind of ink that I've been like looking for. This is 450. This is the kind of ink that I've been searching for. All the purples I have tend to be on the lighter side. The 150 is just stunning, I have to say. I was not expecting that to have such color variation in it. All right. So we have our inks and we have our pen. And, you know, I was going to put 237 in this, but 130 is a much better color match. So I think that's what we're going to go with. So I am going to go give my pen a quick flush, because you should always flush your pens when you get a new one, just in case there's anything left in them. TWSBI doesn't test their pens before they send them out, but sometimes gunk can just get in there. So, you know, if your pen isn't flowing perfectly on the first go, always, always, always give it a flush. It'll almost always fix the problems. So I'm going to give this a flush, and we're going to fill this with the winner, which is this bizarrely clear ink, which I really love, and I think it's going to look great sloshing around in the pen. We're going to ink this up, and I'll come back and we'll do a little writing sample. All right, see you in a bit. So I realized that when I showed you all my TWSBIs, I didn't actually show you them in comparison. I just kind of showed them to you and pulled them back out of frame. So I'm going to do a little comparison now. That way you kind of get an idea of each of the pens. So hopefully editing me is putting this after I told you what ink I was going to do. So here is the TWSBI Diamond 580 ALR in Punch Pink. Clearly I chose very pretty ink. So I'll put that next to the most comparable pen, which is the Diamond 580 AL, which is the exact same pen except for some color variations and some different machining. Next we have the Eco, which is about the same size. Never would have figured that. The Eco, obviously different pen, different material. It doesn't have the same diamond faceting, but it does have the hexagonal cap, which some people don't like. I happen to like it. I've said it on social media. I've said it to anyone who will listen. If the Eco was my very first fountain pen, I would have never bought any other fountain pens. It is the best fountain pen I've ever had. I have yet to find one that I like more than it. It doesn't mean I haven't bought more fountain pens, clearly, but if this was the first one I ever had, I wouldn't have bought any others. I would have had no need to. It's purple. It's a great purple pen. The caps are perfect. In this I have Van Diemen's Black Tongue Spider Orchid, which a friend of mine sent me a sample of hers when she went to Australia. And then, so next, and last but certainly not least, is the TWSBI Go, which is slightly smaller than the others, just by little, and it's made out of a different plastic, so it's a different resin, so it's lighter, and it has that spring-loaded mechanism instead of the turn pistons like everything else. So if you're gonna ask me my favorites, my Eco is still always gonna be my favorite of all of my TWSBI pens. But this one's very unique. I have mostly cool color pens. This is the only pink pen that I have, and it's pretty fantastic, I gotta say. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, so I've got my Sailor Ink Studio 130 in my Punch Pink. It looks very strange. I've never used an ink this clear. I did test it in my Materman Namasani notebook here, just so you can kind of get a look at that. Let's turn that correctly, shall we? So you can see it writes Penworks. I'm very happy with it. So I'm gonna open up to today's page in my Hobonichi A5 cousin Techo, and we'll do some ink sampling. This is my stickers. We have a Better Bodies, and sorry to make people jealous that I have an Emerald of Chicken sticker. Today, nothing personal's in here. It's mostly, I mostly do song lyrics as my my journaling, but you know, nice to have a nice clean page. This is the TWSBI 580 ALR in Punch pink with Sailor ink Studio number 130. So you can see the ink is entirely legible, and actually the ink is a fantastic match for that pen. If you can see, hopefully it's coming through on the camera, because the ink in the pen and on the page look completely different. Looks like it was made for this pen, honestly. And the ribbing really doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would, which I'm happy about, because I'd be sad to have to get rid of this because it's so pretty. So let's do this. This is a fine nib. And yeah, this does write, it's a little, actually it might be a little finer than my medium on my Eco, but overall it's perfectly smooth. It writes just the way I would expect it to, and I'm really happy with the way this writes. So let's do a little more. Let's do the swirlies people like to do. You're not really gonna get, it's a fine nib, it's not tuned to be a stub, so you're not gonna get really any line variation. And you can push it. I wouldn't recommend it. These are steel nibs, they're not really meant to flex. So most people do the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. I'm not gonna do that. I'm also not gonna do a sentence that has every letter in it. I'm gonna do a sentence, and this will hopefully be my sentence going forward that I'll use with all the inks that I test. I think it'll be nice. So hopefully we're in frame here. Yep. Okay. That's my sentence. So believing in even the possibility of a happy ending is a very powerful thing. I wholly believe that. It's also a quote from Once Upon a Time. So if you know that show, hopefully this made you smile. So thank you for watching. If you want to watch more, like and subscribe, or do whatever it is that you do with these. I don't fully expect anyone to actually watch these, I'll be honest. I'm just kind of making these as something to do and kind of give me a little more of an incentive to get through with my ink testing, because it's something that I really want to get going with because I have so much ink. If you did watch, thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe this has inspired you to go out and get yourself a TWSBI Punch Pink. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.